If you have ever wandered into an Apple store, it's easy to get lost amongst the latest computers and iPads and accessories. But our investigator Jeremy Hohola found something else going on inside the Apple store in Denver. It's a scheme targeting the homeless and the poor. And Jeremy recorded the whole thing on his iPhone.
With my iPhone, I watched something suspicious go down at the Cherry Creek Apple Store. Several men signing numerous contracts for numerous iPhones within hours, but then giving them over to someone else. Even an Apple Store employee appeared to play a role, giving the iPhone straight to this guy.
I really didn't think about it. All I heard was 200 bucks. Yeah. I'm broke.
We saw David Sauer sign his name.
I got 4 sleeping bags.
He lives at a local park. Sauer says he was picked up by this guy who promised all of that money if he signed contracts and turned over the phones.
It was 10 phones, give me 200 bucks.
He was surprised his bad credit was good enough to get contracts, but he needs cash.
Motel room, a bath, food.
What did they promise you?
They promised me about $200, $300 in cash.
We watched Jamal sign away too again and again. The same guy approached him on his way to donate plasma.
Why were you going to donate plasma? You were just hard up for cash?
Yeah, I just needed some cash at the moment.
They promised me cash right after the cell phones were activated. They told me I'd make close to $200 to $300.
Phoenix, along with the others, say this guy promised they could just cancel the contracts later. No problem.
Why did you believe this?
At the beginning, I just thought it was some easy money. I had rent due the next day, and I was looking to pay it.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Hohola, the reporter. So what's going on here? Here's how the scheme works. A cheap iPhone received with a new contract can be unlocked and used on other networks. Hi, I'm a cell phone trafficker. Hello. Let's say you're desperate for some money. I pay you some cash to sign a contract and to give me the phone. I then can sell this phone on the international market for more than $700. But wait, what happens to the contract I just signed? Well, you're stuck with it, and if you can't pay, your credit gets ruined. See ya. That's not cool. Hi, I'm Jeremy Hohola. I'm a reporter with 9 News here in Denver. Can we talk to you about your operation here? No. No? What are you doing here?
I didn't even want you to talk.
You don't want me talking to you? How much money are you making off of this operation, would you say? Hey.
After that, Apple told us to leave. And mall security kicked us out while these guys were allowed to stay.
Back here in the newsroom, I found out this guy is Benji Kermani of Beverly Hills. He owns a company that sells unlocked iPhones. It appears he's exploiting the poor to make money. Apple's gotta be angry about that, right?
I'm going to be showing this video on the newscast showing this Apple Store employee that appears to be working with these men. You have no comment about that? Well, I guess not. In fact, I saw Kermani and his crew back in business the very next day. He approached me.
Don't call me, don't text me, don't try to add me on Instagram.
But still no explanation.
You want to assault a TV reporter, we're going to call the police on you.
I'm not going to assault you. Listen, and don't try to threaten me. Shut your mouth when I'm talking to you.
After that Jerry Springer moment, I reached out to AT&T and Verizon. No comment from them either.
Once we introduced the iPhone, we were seeing just rampant credit muling all over the country.
Only Sprint would speak to us about what it calls credit muling.
There are many laws that are being broken by this type of activity, and so Sprint has actually filed about 40 lawsuits, federal lawsuits all over the country, trying to crack down on this type of behavior.
There are no current lawsuits in Denver, but in Lone Tree, Casey Parker and Aaron Chambly are facing a criminal charge of deception. Police say they convinced a mentally disabled man to sign contracts at the Park Meadows Apple Store.
This scam is taking place, and we're not going to tolerate that kind of behavior here.
Back at Cherry Creek, scenes like this, Kermani and Phoenix arguing over cash, became a nuisance. In the end, it wasn't Apple that put a stop to this, but the mall.
One of the organizers actually returned, at which time we had to get the police involved. And since that happened, they have not returned.
Benji is out there somewhere, but we still have one more question for Apple.
Siri, what do you think about all of this?
A fine question. Now can we get back to work?
Yes, of course, Siri. I will still work on this story. If you were approached by these guys or got caught up in something like this, talk about it on Twitter with the iScheme hashtag, or you can email me at jeremy@9news.com. I'll also be happy to answer your questions about tonight's report. In the end here, Kyle, though, this scheme really hurts people who are already in a financial hole. It just makes the harder for them to get out of it with all that debt and ruined credit.
At first I was thinking, well, maybe Apple doesn't know that this is happening, but you're describing a situation where essentially the guy comes and sets up camp in the store for days at a time.
And he brought loads of people into the mall for several days, standing outside of that Apple store, calling them in one by one. Apple knew this was going on. Who knows why they didn't put a stop to it? That's why we reached out to Apple, but we got that no comment.
And it took Cherry Creek to say, get it out of here.
Cherry Creek was the one that put the end to the scheme.
Interesting. Jeremy, thank you.